Today's class is, yesterday's was hips, as I said. Today's will be neck and shoulders. So we'll just start by straight away just lifting and rolling the shoulders back, setting them down away from the ears. Turn the head from side to centre, to the other side and to the centre. Breathing in, raise the right arm up. Breathing out, turn your head away from the right arm to the left. Breathe in with your head back to the centre, and breathing out, lower your right arm. Breathing in, raise your left arm. Breathe out, turn your head to the right, away from your left arm. Breathe into the centre, and breathe out, lowering your left arm. Lift and roll your shoulders. Lift the left shoulder and just drop it. Lift the right shoulder and just drop. And now lift one shoulder, drop, lift the other, drop. Lift and drop, and lift and drop, and lift and drop, and lift and drop. And then lift and drop both shoulders. Take the left shoulder and roll it in a circular or square motion, whatever your movement dictates, forward a few times. And then lift and roll the left shoulder back. And just set it back along, away from your ear. And then come to the right shoulder as you lift and roll your right shoulder forward a few times. And then lift and roll your right shoulder back a few times. And then just press your feet into the ground. Tense your knees and let them go. Lift and roll both shoulders backwards, reset them, and once more turn your head from left to right, to left and to right. Come back to the centre. This very familiar next little sequence I find almost impossible to describe, so just join in with me. Breathing in, both arms up, a loose up. Breathing in, out, both arms down. Breathing in, cross your arms, and then backwards down. So breathing in, arms up. Breathing out, arms down. Cross your arms, back, up, down, cross. Remember to change sides, back, up, down, cross, 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 and then make the next couple of last ones that you do, and then just sway your arms up and down, and then lift and roll your shoulders. Breathing in, raise both arms up, clasp and reverse your hands, palms upwards to the sky. And breathing out, lower your arms back down alongside you. Breathing in, circle your arms up, clasp and reverse. And breathing out, both arms back down alongside you. And third time as you breathe in, clasp your hands, reverse at the top, press your feet down, and a lateral stretch to one side. You can stay static or just bounce. Come to the centre, and then breathing out, to the other side. Breathing in, up to the center. Breathing out, turn to one side. Come to the center, and breathing out, turn to the other side. Come to the center. Just test your balance by lifting your heels. And then gently breathing out, lower your heels and lower your hands back down alongside you. Lift and roll the shoulders once more. Opening your hands out to the side. Hug and come forward, just swaying from side to side. Breathing in, standing up as you open your arms outwards, and then hug, the other arm comes on top and sway from side to side. Come back to the centre, breathing in, and lift and roll your shoulders again, setting them back down alongside you. Breathing in, raise your arms up, breathe out, come back down through the centre, bend your knees and touch your fingers to the floor. Breathing in, flatten your back, straightening your legs. And breathing out as you bend your knees, step back with your right foot. You can keep it high or low. I'm going to keep mine high. Step back with the left foot, you're in plank. Heels to the ceiling. And then lower your knees to the ground. Come to up dog. And then come to lower yourself completely to the ground. Stretch your arms out in front of you so that you're lying prone on the ground, stretching arms in front, feet behind. Take an in and an out breath here. Bring your hands back to either side of your chest, elbows in. Come back to kneeling and then tucking your toes, come to a downward dog. Walking the dog. Swaying from side to side. Stretch both legs back and then drop both knees to the ground. Hands to the left. Right foot steps up. Hands either side of the right foot and just stretch in to the right side, emphasizing the right hip stretch. Bring your knee back so that it's square or a 90-degree angle to support your weight. As you tuck your left toes under, lift your left knee and step your left foot to your right foot. Hands on the shins, flat back. Breathing out, bend your knees, bend your elbows, press your feet into the ground and roll up vertebra by vertebra. And hands up, stretching your fingers up to the sky. Circle your wrists down. Lift and roll your shoulders. Inhale, exhale, hands together at the heart center. Circle your arms up, stretch almost into a back bend, and then bring your hands back down through the center as you roll down, hands either side of your feet, and step your left foot back, keep it high, tucking your left toes under. Step your right foot back, you're in plank. Heels up to the ceiling. Bend both knees to the ground. You come for a split second into up dog and then lay prone on the mat, stretching your hands out in front of you. Slide your hands back to either side of your chest, elbows into the side. As you press your hands down, come to kneeling, and then tuck the toes as you come to your downward dog. Walk dog by bending one knee and then bending the other knee. Stretch both legs back And then bend both knees to the mat. Hands go to the right. Left leg comes up, hands either side of the left leg. Stretch into that left hip. Bring your left knee back to a 90-degree square angle so that your weight is being supported as you tuck your right toes under. Engage the spine, the top, the lower abdomen back towards the spine. Engage your perineum and lift the right knee. Step the right foot to the left foot. Hands on both shins. Lengthen your back so that it's a flat back. Breathe out, bend your knees, bend your elbows, and pressing your feet into the ground as you roll up to standing. Hands up to the sky, stretch up and back, and then circle your wrists back down as you lower your arms back down alongside you. Inhale, exhale, hands together. Inhale, hands up as you circle upwards. Breathing out, bring your hands through the centre as you bend your knees and bend your elbows to bring your hands either side of your feet. Step back with your right foot, keeping it high, stretching your right leg out. And then plank, stretch back with your left leg. You're in a straight line, heels up to the ceiling, tummy in. Bend both knees back to the ground. Come into an up dog, stretching up, and then lower yourself onto your abdomen, hands out in front of you, stretching. Bring your hands back to either side of your chest, elbows in. Press down on your hands, come to kneeling, tuck your toes and come straight away into a downward dog. Feel that you can adjust your feet by walking the dog, bending one knee and then the other knee. Stretch both legs back and then bend both knees back down to the ground. Your hands go to the left. Your right foot comes up. Hands either side of your right foot and stretching into the right hip. And then bring your right leg back to a 90-degree angle and slide your hands so that you're kneeling up. You can always bring your right foot out towards the edge of the mat a little bit more to support your balance. And then open your hands to the sky. You can lift your chin, but you might find your balance wobbles by doing this. Either way, bring your chin back to your head back to upright. And breathing in, raise your hands up to the ceiling and stretch them upwards. Take an in and an out breath here. And breathing out, lengthen your back to bring your hands to either side of your front right foot. Tuck your toes of the back left foot, lift your left knee and step your left foot to your right foot. Hands on the shins, flat back. Breathing out, bend your knees, bend your elbows and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing, stretching your hands up, stretching the fingers to the sky. Circle your wrists downwards. You might want to circle them the opposite way, but it really doesn't matter. And then lift and roll your shoulders. Clasp your hands behind you, aiming the knuckles towards the ground. This lifts your chest, opening the shoulders and opening those lung meridians that are just here between, just inside your shoulder. Separate your hands and slide your hands down the backs of your legs as you bend them to the floor. Step back with your left foot high and then your right foot coming into plank, straight line. For those of you who are very energetic, you can come to chaturanga, to come to lying on the floor. Or if you're less energetic, which I am, then bring your knees to the ground so that you're an up dog briefly, and then come to lie fully on the abdomen, stretching your hands out in front of you. And while you're here, just bang the tops of your tops of your feet on the ground, activating, I think I'm right in saying, perhaps the lymph system a little bit. on the top of the feet for those reflexologists among you. And then slide your hands back to place them either side of your chest, elbows in. Press your hands down, come to kneeling. Tuck your toes, tummy in. Come to your downward dog. Feel that you can adjust your feet by moving them slightly wider if that suits you, and walking the dog by bending one knee and extending the other, and then bend the other knee and extend the other foot. You can sway your hips from side to side as you do this. Bend both knees back to the ground. Hands go to the right, which gives space for your left foot to come up, hands either side of the left foot. Just extend beyond 90 degrees to stretch into your left hip. But then bring your knee back to left knee back to a 90-degree angle to walk your fingers back and what I call kneel up. You can always bring your left foot out slightly to support your weight. Open your palms upwards. Again, you're getting into the shoulder level or area. But then bring your head upright and raise your hands up to the ceiling. You'll press your right knee down, opening you at the right hip, stretching the hands up. And then breathing out, think of lengthening your back over your left knee, and then hands either side of your left foot, tucking your right toes underneath, tummy in, perineum engages slightly to support your core as you lift your back right knee and step your right foot to your left foot. Hands on your shins, flat back as you lengthen your spine. Breathe out as you bend your knees, press your feet into the ground and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Raising your hands up, thumbs joined together, and just sway from side to side. Come to the centre and lower your hands. Lift and roll the shoulders again, opening those lung meridians. Just take your fingers, or even bend your fingers so that you've got your hands like that, and just tap this point, K27, just under the sore point here. Go back into EFT here. The K27 points is a very important immune system point where lots of energies meet in the meridian section. So this bizarre tapping can free off a lot of energies. And then just release your hands and lift and roll your shoulders. Step your feet out a little bit and just sway from side to side. So this balances the hips, but it also moves through all energies, just freeing off everything that we've worked on. As you can lift your heels, you can sway gently, or if you feel that you want to get rid of a lot of excess energy, then sway more vigorously. Going from side to side. And then come back to the centre, just swaying. And come to stand still, your feet are hip width apart again, lift and roll your shoulders. So depending where you are on your mat, either step your left foot forward or just come with your left foot's forward, your right foot's back at a 45-degree angle. Again, you've got the option to move your left foot out towards the left. Just start with your hands on your waist. This opens your shoulders, but it also opens your lungs. Soften your left front knee and drop your weight. So this option on Warrior 1, you'll feel your hips twisting round. If you feel that's uncomfortable, an option that I'm never keen on, but other people love it, is to lift the back heel so that allows you to twist round more, but then your balance needs to be good. So it's an option. And just drop your weight centrally. You can lift your arms up to make it a proper warrior one, and take an in and an out breath here. And then breathing out, tummy in. Come forward over the left leg, so this becomes a pyramid pose. You might want to put your back right heel down. You might want to just twist round so that you're pulling your left hip back, and you might want to adjust your feet. Just take an in and an out breath. If this is too much for you, then soften your left knee by bending it slightly. In and out. Forward bend. Soften your front left knee to press on your left foot, tummy in. You can use your hands to walk up your left leg, but come to standing. Step your left foot back. Just sway from side to side again. And then step your right foot forward. Left foot goes out at a 45-degree angle. Hands on the waist again. Drop your weight by softening your front right leg. A warrior one option. And then inhaling, raising your hands up. Looking either ahead or up, this depends on your neck capacity. Bring your head to center and then just straighten, bending forward over your right leg. Once you're over, you can straighten your right leg and feel now that you're bringing your right hip, your right bottom back. Feel also that you can make any leg adjustments. This is a pyramid pose. A forward bend over the right leg. Taking an in and an out breath. Your chin is tucking into your chest here, so any forward bend is calming for inflammation, and any condition with itis in the name is an inflammation. So this is excellent for calming the or it's an anti-inflammatory response. Bending your front right knee to press your weight into your right foot and then into your back foot to support you to come up. And then stepping your right foot back to your left, lifting and rolling your shoulders back, and come to turn your head from side to side. So raise your right arm, bring it over your head, just lightly touch your left ear, chin comes into the chest, and you're opening up on your left side. You can use your left hand to just lightly touch your shoulder, but that's optional. And then very gently bring your head to upright and lower your right arm. And this time raise your left hand, just bring it over the head, just gently touch the right ear, chin to chest. You can use your right hand to touch your right shoulder. And you're just opening out on the neck area, but of course that goes into the shoulder area. And then bring your head to upright. And before we come to the mat, which here is incredibly hot, to the point that I'm almost burning my feet, which I wouldn't have thought was possible in April, we're going to do another shoulder movement. So this is a complete shoulder movement. So breathing in, raising your hands upwards, clasping and reversing. Breathing out, bring your hands parallel to in front of you. Breathing in, open your hands out to the side. If that's stiff, you can always bend your elbows, whatever works for you. And then bring your hands back to center, clasp and reverse up. We'll just do that one more time because it is quite strong on the shoulders. Breathing out, hands in front of you. Breathing out, Breathing in, hands out to your capacity. Breathing out, bring the hands back, clasp them, and then raise them up. That's like a shoulder rotation. And then just separate your hands. Come down to the hands either side of you. Lift and roll your shoulders. And then bending the knees to come back down to the mat. Which my mat is almost burning hot, as I said. So come to the mat lying on your back. Hug both knees into the chest. And then open the knees into a V and just circle the knees in one direction. So we are coming to the hips and lower back here. And then circle the knees in the other direction. Place your right foot on the floor. You can keep your knee bent or extend your right leg along the mat, your choice, and hug your left knee into the chest. Clasp behind your left leg and extend your left leg to the ceiling, extending the left heel. Point and flex the foot a couple of times on the left side. And then very gently circle your left ankle in one direction. And then circle your left ankle in the other direction. And then using your hands to walk up the back of your left leg, bringing your left leg towards your face. You might stop at your calf, you might be able to hold your left big toe. If you can hold your left big toe, you might be tempted to open your left leg out to the left and keep your right hand on your right hip bone. Extending your left leg and feeling a stretch on the inner left thigh, or all the way down the left side, the inner left side of the leg. And then bringing your left leg back to upright. Bend your left knee. Cross your left leg over your right. Lift your right leg off the ground, so both feet are off the ground. And slide your hands down to hold your ankles. So your right hand will hold your left ankle, and your left hand will hold your right ankle. And as you hug your knees in towards your chest, you'll feel this opening up on your outer left hip, perhaps a little bit more than the right, as it's a left leg crossed over. Take an in and an out breath. And then very gently place both feet on the ground. Unravel your left leg from your right. Resting your hands either on the abdomen or palms down either side of you on the mat. Just sway the knees gently from side to side, both knees moving in the same direction. And your hips can lift off the mat. Touching on the somatic anti-aging aspect of the relationship between the torso and the hips. So it's an anti-aging movement. Bring your knees back to centre and either keep your left knee bent or extending your left leg along the ground. Hug your right knee into your chest. And then dropping your hands to underneath your right thigh, extend your right foot to the ceiling and extend your heel and point your toes a couple of times. And then begin to circle your right ankle in one direction. And then circle your right ankle in the other direction. And then walk your hands up the back of the right leg, bringing the right leg towards your face. You can keep a bend in your knee. Just check that your chin is not shooting up to the ceiling. If it is, then lower your hands. If you are able to hold your right big toe with your right hand, if not, just hold them anywhere on your legs. You might like to open your right leg out to the right side. And just check that your left hip is secure on the ground by holding your left hand. Feel the stretch on the inner leg, the inner right leg. So connecting into the psoas muscle that has many emotional implications. And then bring your right leg back to the centre, bend your right knee, and cross your right leg over your left. Lower abdomen engages slightly towards the spine. Perineum engages slightly. Lift your left foot off the ground and slide your hands down both shins so that you're holding your ankle above your ankles, you're just on your ankles. So your left hand will naturally come to the right ankle and your right hand will naturally fall on the left leg somewhere. And you'll feel the stretch in your right outer hip. In particular, you're targeting something called the piriformis muscle, which is a little muscle joining the upper thigh with the hip, and it shortens as
Chrissy,
you get.
just to say, can't hear very much at all. Others.
Okay.
I can't hear anything.
So
whether it might help if you turn around the other end of the mat, just a thought.
okay. So just unravel and just come to. If I turn around this way, does that help?
I couldn't hear anything when you were lying down. I didn't get any of the last 10 minutes.
Right, okay, that's really interesting. So,
Did you hear any of it?
Oh, no, really? Okay, so come to kneeling and roll up. Did you not get anything at all?
Odd bits and pieces as you moved, but mainly nothing of the last 10 minutes.
Okay. So let's come up standing then. Is that better?
Yes, much better. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's interesting, isn't it? Maybe I need to.
Use another microphone.
I need my AirPods that I never get to use because Jamie's got them constantly. Or that's really so. Thank you for that feedback, Joss. So let's do some of this then standing. So lift and roll your shoulders. Step your right foot over your left. Raise your hands. Hold. I'm naturally holding my left wrist with my right hand, but I don't know if that's your natural thing. And just literally sway over. You can bounce in and out. And then breathing in, come to the centre. Stretch up. Lower your hands and uncross your legs. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Cross your left foot over your right. Breathing in, raising your arms. Reverse your hold and just come over to the other side. Breathing in, come to the centre, stretch up, and breathing out, lower your hands and uncross your legs. So then, hands to the heart centre, breathing in, circle your hands up, bring them back through the centre, and open your hands outwards. Turn the palms up and almost the little fingers back, and then turn the palms down. So it's an up-down movement. If that's harsh on your shoulders, then you've got the option always of bending your elbows. And then just release your hands down and lift and roll your shoulders. So I just wanted to remind you that the lungs are divided yogically into 16 areas, which are almost impossible to remember. But if you take your lungs and divide them into 3, the upper lungs, the mid and the lower lungs. So if you take the middle section of the lungs and open your arms outwards, palms up is the upper section of the mid lungs. Palms down is the lower section of the mid lungs. Palms in is the inner, coming inwards, the lungs. And palms outwards is the outer part of the mid lungs. And you repeat that going up. So up would be the back of the lungs with your palms reversed, the front of the lungs, the outside of the lungs, and the inside of the lungs. So they're all kinds of, it's the same as you lower your arms on the inside. So there are exercises to improve lung function of every part of the lung. And with bugs and colds and life and injury, we tend to just protect ourselves, and quite often lung function is compromised in one part of that area. We're almost unaware of it, and in order to identify it, the Royal Brompton does a whole series of lung exercises that are actually based on yoga. So one of the simplest things to start is just to place your right hand on your right waist, and that opens your right lung, and it begins to give you an appreciation of breathing on the right side. And quite often, as I said, our muscles, not just to the lungs, but also to other parts of the body in response to trauma or something that's happened, can switch off. And when the muscles switch off, we're not necessarily aware of it because the other side compensates. So just focusing and breathing in and out, and you're focusing on the right lung side. And then if you lower the right arm and transfer your focus and attention to the left, you're opening up the left side. It's made more complicated by the fact that one lung is dominant at any point, or one nostril is dominant. We switch over that dominance throughout the day, but it does give you a flavour of where we're at. And given that you fed back that lying down the sound doesn't travel, so I must note to self use the AirPods. But another note to the self is with Karen here, there's nothing to stop me inviting Karen into the studio with the doors open, I don't think, and then having the equipment inside again. So I could do that because it's interesting how the sound doesn't travel. So just rest with one hand, it doesn't matter which, on the abdomen, and one hand at the heart centre. You'll find that you naturally lift your chest up slightly, and therefore the space between the chest and the abdomen, or the navel, is lengthened. And just take a few breaths here. Imagine a silver thread joining the abdomen with the chest area, and that the thread is straight. It's not taut, but it's just straightened. It's not curled up. And breathing in, turn your head slightly to the left. Come to the centre, and breathing out, turn your head to the right. Into the left. And breathing out, turn to the right. And just a couple of times, into the left and out to the right. And then bring your head back to the centre. just slightly bring your chin to the chest, activating the vagus nerve, anti-inflammatory response. So if you wanted to extend that, you might like to sit down, have your head resting on a cushion or a bolster over a table, stretch out. That will be very calming. Have a thought for the day, setting your intention, and then bring the other hand to the chest, bow your head to take a bow for yourself. And thank you very much, everyone, for joining me today.